Okay, my lovely friends, here we are together again at last on this Tuesday, August 25th, 2020, on the threshold of yet again another record setting day for Wall Street. A lot of stuff to talk about here. So let's cover that first. As I am doing this video blog, stock trading doesn't start for about 45 minutes. Futures are pointing towards a new record high for the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average is kind of coming right up the back here. We will be hitting new record highs across the board in short order for several reasons, and I'm going to cover more of that with this video. But I think the biggest news we have right now, and it came out yesterday, is this. Apparently, the Federal Reserve is about to make some kind of a profound announcement this Thursday. Now, let's put a perspective on that. What do we understand about the Federal Reserve other than it's public enemy number one and is indeed a criminal organization? Unlike any other in the history of the world. In case you're new here, yes, Greg Mannarino despises the Federal Reserve. And I think most of you that follow this blog have a clear understanding of why, especially in this environment. They are involved in a worldwide takeover right now. That's what they're involved in. Their plan since 1913 has been to be the lender and buyer of last resort. And that's exactly who they are today in a free fall economy. But in case you haven't heard, we're in some kind of a recovery. In fact, it's a super V recovery, according to President Trump and Larry Kudlow, who I have said recently, I think they frequent the same crack house. But that's neither here nor there. Although it's going to weigh into this market to a certain degree. So again, Thursday, the Federal Reserve is going to talk about something big, and they're already laying the groundwork here. We already understand, again, the Federal Reserve has got a completely new digital dollar in the works. Let me explain this to you. It's already done. They just can't allow you to know that yet. And it's going to make its debut relatively soon. So keep that in mind here, people. What's actually happening around you? It's an environment all about control. It's not really about money. Although, again, what's going on here? We have a middle class being decimated. Absolutely decimated, unlike anything we've ever seen in history. Worse than the Great Depression. As a matter of fact, the environment we are in right now is a depression. But you're not supposed to know that. It's a super V recovery. We're in no recovery whatsoever. There's no recovery whatsoever. And anybody who's trying to sell you that lie, well, you need to understand what's going on here. You're being manipulated. They're trying to twist your mind. There is no recovery. We are in free fall collapse, but the stock market keeps going up. So again, stock trading doesn't start for about 50 minutes from now. Futures are pointing towards gains across the board. Actually, the Nasdaq is about flat here, but a new record high for the S&P 500. You got the 10-year yield, which just popped to 0.69. We'll talk about why in a moment. You got the dollar under pressure here. You got crude oil catching a bid. So this is a pretty great scenario for the stock market here. Cryptocurrencies are under pressure. Gold and silver are under pressure. Why? It's risk on. When you see cash moving out of cryptocurrencies, out of gold and silver, the biggest rig markets on the face of the earth. I mean, Scotiabank, we just found out, got caught red-handed rigging the price of gold and silver for the last 8 years, thousands of times. And they're not the only bank involved here. And they had to pay a fine. Yeah, no arrests, of course, but they did pay a fine. You can't make this stuff up. But that's the corrupt environment we are in. I think you know that already here. It's beyond anything we've ever seen before. And we have no resemblance whatsoever of a free market or a free market economy where corporations today are stronger than they have ever been, while the middle class is being exterminated. Jobs, losing 6 million jobs a month on average. We have tens upon tens of millions of people out of work. Small businesses culled, deliberate culling of small businesses, again, to empower the fascist state, the merger between corporations and this new American government that we have. That's what they're shoving down your throat. But we're in a recovery. You know that. You can't make it up. It's impossible to do. So when you hear this, you understand that you are being lied to on a grand scale that is absolutely frightening. Okay? That's the truth. That's where we are. But going back here to the Federal Reserve, I want to focus on that for a moment. So a big announcement Thursday with regard to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, regardless of what comes out of their mouth, regardless of what they say about tools, whatever they're trying to pull off here, they have one tool. Their tool is debt. Their power resides in their ability to issue debt in greater and greater amounts. That's how they keep a stranglehold on the world, okay? And they will never give that up without killing millions upon millions upon millions of more people than they've already killed to establish the fiat monetary system, the debt-based economic model, and the petrodollar. So their new system, 100% debt-based. Although it can be argued that because of the petrodollar, that the dollar is backed by a commodity, which would be crude oil. But the rigging that's going on here with regard to crude oil is off the Richter scale too. I mean, crude oil today has no business being where it is. $40-something a barrel should be about 12 in my view. So it's being rigged pretty hardcore. Anyway, with that said, so this big announcement, the Fed is going to explain to you how they are going to struggle to hit their inflation targets, how they have been struggling to hit their inflation targets. We've heard this for the longest time. The Fed wants to create inflation. However, this is what they're saying. However, they've deliberately killed the money velocity on a global scale via the scamdemic. The scamdemic was used to do one thing: to kill the global money velocity, the rate at which cash moves through an economy. By killing the money velocity, they can print cash out of thin air in any amount they want. They can buy as many assets as they want. They can buy all the debt, which is what they want to do. They can buy corporate debt, which is what they are doing. They're even buying the debt of Dow Components. Okay, Dow Jones Industrial Average Components. Okay, the largest companies in the world. They can do this without creating inflation, and they know it because they've killed the money velocity deliberately via the scamdemic, the vaccine agenda that President Trump is pushing, Bill Gates is pushing. It's kind of interesting to see Bill Gates and President Trump on the same page, and I mean they are on the same page. If you're scared of Bill Gates, you might want to be scared of Donald Trump too. That's the truth. And look, I'm not saying that anything could be better under Joe Biden, but you got to look at the current environment and try to put that into perspective. That's what we're doing here. And again, although this blog here is about ripping the face off of this market, we have to take all of this into account. Politics plays the market. You got, again, the China trade deal. Last night it was announced again that the U.S.-China trade deal is all of a sudden going great again. You can't make it up. This is like over the 1,000th time that we've heard that all of a sudden the trade talks are doing great. Stock futures are higher. You can't make that stuff either up. It's a lie. It is a lie. It is a falsehood, and you are being duped. You're being duped, and I think you know that. I don't care who you are, what side of the aisle you're on. If you're a Trump supporter, you are supporting a liar. If you're on the other side, I don't even know what you're supporting. Either one of these creatures here don't matter to me. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn who sits in the White House because I'm going to make money and my Lions are going to make money either way. We don't care. Neither do the investment banks, okay? So just understand that. I don't care at all. If the market goes up, there's a strategy for that. If the market goes down, there's a strategy for that. If this market trades in circles, there's a strategy for that too. So I will not lose. My Lions will not lose, and neither will Wall Street, who will never lose. All right? These two parties, they are playing for the corporate agenda. That's what they're doing. I don't care what Joe Biden might say. He's all for the corporate agenda too. So believe me, That's how it's going to work no matter what freak sits in the Oval Office. Okay, now going back to the Fed. The Fed runs the show. The Fed is the central bank of central banks. This big announcement is about debt expansion. That's what it's about. Debt expansion, because they want to create inflation. They're going to buy it all. Just like I've been explaining to you since time immemorial. It's not going to stop. They're fulfilling their end game. Their final solution. And you know who loses? We do. Our liberties, our freedoms, all of it. It's about control. Again, as that two-tier society manifests itself in a greater way. That's all this is about. All of it. And, already the middle class is extinct. The middle class right now, there is no true middle class. And whatever's left of them, if you're there, you're done. You're 100% done, so be prepared for that. All right, look, I'm out of here. Pay attention to these things, people. Record high for the market, at least here at the open S&P 500, while our economy remains in free fall. Let that sink in. Love you a lot. Please share the video. See you later.